Hey everyone, it's Christian from the Calcio Bros, and I'm here to talk about what just happened in round 37 of Serie A. And that means after this weekend, there's only one more match day to play, and it's going to be as tight as ever after some of the results that happened this weekend. Very interesting results for sure, and we're gonna get right into that right now. 3 games on the Saturday. First game was Udinese-Spal. Udinese needed a crucial victory in this, and they got it. They were up 3-0 at the half. Spal almost came back to tie it, but Udinese with this win are just about safe. They need an important result in their next game, which we'll get into shortly. Genoa Cagliari finished 1-1. Not what Genoa needed. They needed a full-on victory. They were actually about to lose it till Criscito scored a late penalty in the game to tie it up. Still all to play for the relegation, but this result does not help Genoa whatsoever. But it does help Cagliari stay safe from going down to Serie B. Last game of the day was Sassuolo-Roma. Roma needed a win in order to keep up the pressure in the Champions League, but Sassuolo held their own and made it more difficult now for Roma, as they could even miss out on a Europa League spot depending how Torino do in their next game and how other results go as well. Roma also need a win in their next game too, if they have any shot at the Champions League. We'll talk more about that soon as well. On Sunday, May 19th, the 6:30 game was between Chievo and Sampdoria. Both teams nothing to play for, but it was Sergio Pellissier's last game at the Bentegodi. Great round of applause for that legend. And to see the club captain go now and retire at 40 before his team goes down, it will be sad because he is one of the last few bandiere in Serie A. He was even Chievo's all-time leading goal scorer, so they are missing a big person up front, an experienced man for sure, and the whole Serie A community are definitely going to miss his face in the league. We had 2 9 a.m. games. We had Parma-Fiorentina, where Parma grabbed a crucial goal late in the game to steal the victory. With that win too, they are now safe, but this condemns Fiorentina to 13, I repeat, 13 winless games, and that is their worst since 1981, and they are actually almost relegated. Okay, maybe not almost compared to other teams, but this pushes them down within 3 points from the relegation zone, and that's not how Fiorentina saw themselves at the beginning of the season. So they have to really make sure they get all 3 points next game to stay up in the top flight, and their team for sure will need a huge revamp come summertime. The other 9 a.m. game was between Empoli and Torino. Empoli keeping up their good run in order to stay up. They have 3 wins in their last 5, and they got a crucial one over Torino, 4-1, and this game was all Empoli. Like, Torino was not showing up. Sirigu made saves when he had to, but Empoli just came to get the win, and they got it. This pushed them out of the relegation zone, but only 1 point up. They need a crucial win next game, because if they win, they stay up and will condemn Genoa to Serie B. Midday game between Milan and Frosinone. Milan, again, needed to take advantage of already relegated Frosinone side. First half was a little bit lackluster, but starting the second half, Donnarumma saves a penalty. Then Piontek breaks his scoring drought, gets the opening goal. Suso on a beauty of free kick gets the reassurance for the Rossoneri to secure them the 2-0 victory. I will also say there was a huge round of applause. I even got very emotional, as it was Ignazio Abate's last game at the San Siro. Spent over 10 years with the club, one of the last few remaining players on the team from the Scudetto winning team of 2011. So it is definitely sad to see him go, and he has been a great servant to the club, and let's see where he's going to end up. But he wants to end off his career with Milan on a high note and bring him back to Champions League, where they haven't been there in about 6 years. We had 2 games at 2:30, and these 2 games were played simultaneously, so they already knew the results of what was going on. So Juve already current champions. Juve tied Atalanta 1-1. They were actually down at 1 point, but managed to tie it up 10 minutes from time thanks to Bernardeschi. And Barzagli also does his walk around the pitch, as it was his last game again at the Allianz Stadium. He has one more game left, but after that he will also retire. What a career it has been for him. And now the BBC of Bonucci, Barzagli, and Chiellini are broken up. That trio was definitely a defensive core for Juve, and they were solid in helping them to get to the Champions League finals in those 2 years for Allegri. And again, he will be missed at Juve. It'll be very hard to replace a man like that. The other game was Napoli-Inter. Inter needed a crucial result, but they did not get it. They got absolutely thrashed by Napoli 4-1. And now it even puts Inter at a chance of missing out on the Champions League. And we'll get into that with all the scenarios coming up just after the standings, so just hold up for that. And then last game was played on Monday at 2:30 between Lazio and Bologna. It was tied 3-3, and this means Bologna are mathematically safe. They did all they could, and Mihailovic done an excellent job since coming in after Filippo Inzaghi really turned around the fortunes for the club, and he has managed to get the best results so he can see top flight football once again. So working our way from the bottom with Empoli's win, like I said, they moved out of the relegation zone, and Genoa now drop under him only by a point. So it's still very close, and Genoa really need a result in their last game. They are actually playing Fiorentina. So that means if Genoa wins over Fiorentina, Empoli and Udinese both win, Fiorentina is relegated. So that is something that no one ever saw coming. Udinese is still needing a result in their game. All they need is a point. Empoli, they need a win over Inter, because if Genoa does win, a draw won't satisfy Empoli enough to stay in the top flight. So again, there's so much to play for in this bottom. 4 teams battling out for the last spot in the relegation zone. Let's see who will join Frosinone and Chievo. If you have an idea who, comment below. Let us know for sure who you think is being relegated. Now going to the top flight. Atalanta, with their draw over Juve, tie points with Inter, but they're ahead of them because of the head-to-head. So now it's more difficult for them to qualify now because Milan's only 1 point behind them, and they have to win against Empoli. Milan's playing ball, who are already safe, nothing to play for. So Milan has a big chance of winning at Ferrara. Roma, again, just outside there as well. But then it's going to be a whole thing about head-to-head, which I'll be getting into, of who will go depending on the results. Torino do have an outside chance. If Roma doesn't win, I believe, and Torino does win, they have the chance of passing them. We'll see, because again, Lazio's already qualified for the Europa League because they won the Coppa Italia. But it's coming down to the last day, and this is what makes it so exciting. We don't always know who made it in so early. Of course, we always want assurances, but this makes it more exciting, and it's going to be a true nail-biter coming up weekend. Alright, so like I said, there's a whole bunch of scenarios here, so you're going to have to bear with me. There's 13 scenarios that could happen to see which teams go where. So we're going to start off with scenario 1. Atalanta and Inter win, that secures their top finishes. So no matter if the other teams win or not, as long as Atalanta and Inter win their games, they're qualifying for Champions League. Number 2, Atalanta and Milan win, with Inter not winning at Empoli. This will leave Atalanta and the Rossoneri in the top 4 and Inter in the Europa League. So a draw or a loss for Inter, they're out. They can't afford not to get anything. But then again, it also depends on how Milan and Atalanta do, so that we'll see them in the top 4 if that happens. Number 3, if both Milan and Inter win and then Atalanta stumble against Sassuolo, Milan and Inter will get top 4, while La Dea will drop to the Europa League. So again, Atalanta can't afford to miss anything as well. Number 4, Milan win at Spal, Atalanta draw and Inter lose, Milan will get 3rd, La Dea 4th, and Inter will get into the Europa League. So again, not what many Interisti want to hear. It's still a lot to play for. We'll keep going now. Number 5, Milan beats Spal, Inter draw, and Atalanta lose. This will send Atalanta to the Europa League, while Milan and Inter will take top 4. So again, no teams can afford to lose. Number 6, Milan win, Atalanta and Inter draw, Milan finishes 3rd, Atalanta 4th, Inter Europa League. Very similar to the previous. Number 7, Milan and Roma win, but Inter and Atalanta draw. This will leave a 3-way tie on 66 points. Atalanta will take 4th, Roma 5th, and Inter 6th on head-to-head. So that means Milan would finish 3rd and they get the Champions League. Number 8, Atalanta win or draw, Inter lose, and Milan draw. Ladea 3rd, Inter 4th, Milan 5th. So Milan can't afford to drop any points as well. Number 9, Inter win or draw, Atalanta lose, and Milan draw. Inter get 3rd, and Milan get 4th. So that's something Rossoneri fans are definitely hoping for as well. Number 10, Inter and Atalanta lose, Milan draw, and Roma don't win. Inter, Milan, and Atalanta all end on 66 points, and it's another 3-way tie to head-to-head. Inter take 3rd, Ladea 4th, and Milan will remain 5th. Number 11, if only Roma wins and all the others lose, another 66-point tie with the 3 sides. Atalanta grab 3rd, Roma 4th, and Inter 5th. So I will see Milan actually drop down. Number 12, a 4-way tie with 66 points will occur if Nerazzurri sides lose. So that means Atalanta and Inter. Milan draw and Roma win. That leaves the Milanese sides in the top 4, Atalanta 5th and Roma 6th. So there's just more and more tiebreakers, a lot more confusing stuff to deal with. Number 13, Inter, Milan, Atalanta lose and Roma don't win. Will leave Ladea 3rd, Inter taking 4th, Milan 5th, and of course, depending on how Roma do, maybe 6th as well. So guys, those were all the scenarios going into next weekend, and we're going to go into who each team plays. So let's quickly go over it now. So there's only 2 games on the Saturday, just because everyone's playing at the same time on Sunday, so no one knows what the results are. So Saturday we have Frosinone Chievo and Bologna Napoli at 2:30. Moving on to Sunday, 9 a.m. Torino Lazio. So again, Torino need a win and hoping Roma doesn't win, and we'll see head-to-head how that works out, if Torino will make it or not. Midday game, Sampdoria Juventus. Again, nothing to play for both sides. Now, 2:30 for almost every other team. Roma Parma, Atalanta Sassuolo, Cagliari Udinese, Fiorentina Genoa, Inter Empoli, and Spal Milan. Roma need a big win over already assured Parma. Atalanta, even though they're at home, they're playing at the Mapai Stadium in Reggio Emilia, which is Sassuolo Stadium. So as much as they are at home, Sassuolo still feel they have the home team advantage. And let's see if they can stop Atalanta from their winning ways. Cagliari Udinese. Udinese need a big result in this game. All they need is a point to stay alive, and that will assure them Serie A football next season. Fiorentina need a win over Genoa. Genoa, if they win again at the Artemio Franchi, they will stay safe depending on how other games as well, and that could even condemn Fiorentina down to Serie B. And if Fiorentina don't win at all, loss or draw, that'll be 14 games they haven't won. So both teams really fighting out to play for something. Inter Empoli, again, we already went over the scenarios of what will happen if Inter don't win. So keep an eye on that. Empoli on a good winning run, and they'll be hope to carry up their confidence against Inter, who just got thrashed against Napoli, and they want to look to stay safe. Again, a win would secure them, and it will condemn Genoa. A draw will be enough, depending if Genoa are still tied or if they're down against Fiorentina. So again, keep an eye on that. Milan playing, like I said, away to Spal, and Spal's already safe, but Milan need to get the victory no matter what. If they want any chance at Champions League football, they had it in their hands early in the season, but now they're coming alive, making it more interesting, and let's see what's going to happen in this final day. So guys, that is all. So keep an eye out for next week, and also don't forget, it is Daniele De Rossi's last game for Roma. Good way to cap it off at the Olimpico, and it would be very good for Roma if they manage to qualify for the Champions League in his last game. He's going to try his best to do it. Keep an eye out for what they're going to do for him at the end of the game. We all saw Totti's farewell. That was absolutely great. Hopefully they do something similar for De Rossi. He's been an absolute warrior for Roma, and he has done all he can for the club. Another Bandiera leaving. Unfortunately, I know he's going to be still playing, but I know he said he will not play in Italy because he can't bear the thought of ever playing against Roma. So I wish all the best to De Rossi, and let's see if Roma can get any more warriors like him in their youth ranks. So guys, let us know who you think will get the last 2 Champions League spots. Let us know who you think will also be relegated. It's going to be such an interesting last game of the season. I can't imagine how it's going to finish, and I'm going to be biting my nails every single minute because, oh my god, I just can't imagine if Milan will miss out on Champions again. It's going to be very tough. So guys, don't forget to subscribe and click the bell for notifications for more videos. Follow us on Twitter, Calcio_bros, and we'll hope to hear from you guys soon. Ciao!